pretty much tripled the lead flow thanks to this offer. You need to ask yourself questions like, to not be like the 10,000 other businesses out there, you've actually got to understand. If you're a consultant, a coach, or a small business service provider and you're running Facebook ads and you can't get consistent leads or sales every single month by doing this, then it's not your ad copy, it's not your ad targeting that is holding you back. It is your offer. I see this all the time, business owners spending thousands and thousands, month in, month out, on Facebook ads, but they still can't get it right. They've tried everything, they've tried different ads, they've tried different creative, they've tried different videos, images, targeting, the lot. They've been through tens and tens of different audiences on the platform, and of course, they've been through multiple different digital experts that say that they can get this right for them. But they still get poor results. Why? Because their offer's shite, it doesn't resonate with the audience, it's not what people want, and sometimes they don't even have an offer to give. And no amount of fancy images, ads, targeting, audiences, or whatever else you could think of will make it right if your offer is weak. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to create an irresistible offer for Facebook, and I'm going to show you one that highlights your competitive advantage, one that makes you stand out, and one that makes people actually want to click. I'll give you a simple, repeatable framework that any Tom, Dick and Harry could understand and plug into their business. And it's actually one that I've used and have generated a mortgage broker 855 leads in just under 90 days using this formula. So after this video, you'll have all the tools that you'll need to go away, plug this into your business using this copy and paste structure, and you can make your offer and you can start selling more on Facebook. So what actually makes an irresistible offer then? People see the word offer, they start to panic and think, oh no, I need to give away, a discount on my product, or I need to give away something else. Or usually what I see, it's all the generic shite that's like, oh, 10% off X service, or book a free call, book a free consultation. Now these offers, they're okay, right? Once you use them and pair them with multiple other things, which sometimes isn't possible. The generic, and I'm telling you what, these offers do mediocre because everyone else in your niche, in your industry, they're also doing the same stuff. So you need to be different. And this is where it's difficult because you actually have to think hard on what you can do, what you can offer in comparison to the other businesses to make yourself stand out and make people click on your ad. So to not be like the 10,000 other businesses out there, you've actually got to understand what actually makes a irresistible Facebook offer. And there's 6 parts to this, right? So the first one's clarity. You can't be sticking up an offer that takes someone 10, 20 seconds to read. People are on these platforms, they're scrolling fast, we're all guilty of it, and they ain't got time to read it, right? So you've got to make an offer that's understandable in at least 3 seconds. It's got to be simple, it's got to be, using simple English because, people's chimp brain on these platforms is live and kicking, right? People think like chimps, they ain't got time for it. So you need to make it understandable, you need to make it clear, and you need to make it easy for them to go and take action. So it needs to be communicated in under 3 seconds. Next, it's the value versus price argument. People have to understand very, very quickly the benefits really outweigh the cost of the service. So you need to make this explicit and you need to communicate it very, very clearly too. Another one is urgency. Now, this just gives people a kick to act today rather than tomorrow. It can come in all forms. Examples are, valid until the end of August or for the first 40 people that sign up. There's all kind of things that you can do like that really drive that urgency and make people act today. Next is you need to tie this to a specific outcome, right? So you need to, sell the transformation, sell the service. What are people gonna get out of your offer, out of your ad, out of your service that really wants to go and make them click and make them get on the phone to you, visit you, or whatever it may be. And then the last one is a mixture of risk reversal and bonus value. So sometimes I alternate between these, but risk reversal could be anything between, offering some kind of guarantee, or a bonus value could be, a service that you have that really marinades the service that you're trying to sell. And I've got some examples of this later on in the vid. So something else I wanted to talk about here is your competitive advantage as a business. And you need to utilize this to stand out in this market, because I'm telling you, there's 10,000 other companies just like you operating in the same area, offering the same old shite, and the competition is fierce. So you need to figure out, you need to have a deep think about your business and how it's different to another business. What can you do? You need to ask yourself questions like, can I offer a better guarantee than the other company down the road? Can I do it quicker? Can I do it faster? Am I better at doing it? Can I offer an auxiliary service that really complements the one that I'm offering? You need to ask yourself these questions to dig out your competitive advantage. You need to throw this into your offer in order to stand out in this crowded market that we all find ourselves in. It's the same for me, it's the same for you, it's the same for any business out there. They need to have some kind of offer like this that utilizes their competitive advantage, because once you crack this competitive advantage, you'll absolutely shite all over all the other competitors, either in your local area, your region, sometimes even the UK, because some of them, they still just don't get it. They still don't get that they need to tap into this competitive advantage in order to be a successful business operating on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and the overarching meta. Your goal is to be the category of one, right? You need to be the most logical step for your customer to take, even though they've seen X, Y, and Z other companies, what they're offering, right? You need to be the category of one here. And I'll give you an example. I work with a plumbing business in Warrington, and there must be thousands of plumbing businesses in Warrington. And the main thing when it comes to things like, construction, for example, people are worried about the labor that they get, right? Is it going to be a good job? Are they going to install it well? And things like that. And you see these tradies, they don't offer you anything to guarantee the workmanship. So what we did was, he knew he had a shit hot service. He knew that when his engineers, or when he came to fit a boiler, for example, he knew that the workmanship was that good. He could offer an 18-month workman's guarantee, which meant, if someone had a problem with a boiler that they'd installed themselves, they'd send someone out to fix it, right? But he knew that 9 times out of 10, that just would not happen because of the way he's instilled the quality of workmanship throughout his business. So that was his competitive advantage, particularly in the town that he operates, just a small town in the Northwest. He knew that was going to give him a real edge, particularly when it comes to advertising. So you need to find things like this. It's not your average offer, right? People aren't used to seeing a workmanship guarantee. These tradies, they want 350 quid a day, and there's no guarantee. Even if they do a bad service, they'll come back and fix it. So that was really great, and he really loves that offer, and he's doing really well for boiler installs now. Sometimes with these offers, like the example I've just gave, it's the trust and it's the credibility piece. Sometimes people just want the peace of mind that they're getting a good service or they're getting a good job, and sometimes that outweighs slapping a 10% discount on. But if you put all this together, right, you did a 10% discount, service guarantee, lifetime warranty on a boiler, for example. Wow, what an offer that is. That all marinates each other to something really big, and something, competitors like it can't always offer. So my advice is, don't blend in. Think of something that you can do that works for your business that's different to all the other stuff in the local area. Or you might need to take a look at it at more macro level, look at, UK wide, see what people are offering, see what people are doing in your niche, and you need to figure out something that you can do a little bit different. So now it's the bit that you've all been waiting for. It's a simple offer framework that I use for every business that I work for. And it's a simple 4-part framework, and it's so basic. You can go and plug it into your own business. So the framework is specific result in a specific time frame, without a specific pain or objection that your customers have, with a risk reversal and or bonus value structure. And I'm going to show you how this plays out for a real client of ours. They're a mortgage broker here in the Northwest, and we're going to walk you through that step by step. So let's take specific results. So in this case for our mortgage broker, the specific result was we were targeting homeowning parents. So we wanted to create tailored lifetime mortgage plans for home owning parents. Now, really specific result to a really specific target audience. And that way, Meta can not only find the right people, the offer speaks directly to the people that you want to come and inquire for your services. So the time frame, and in this case, one of the competitive advantages this company had was they were smaller, they were a bit more leaner, they were a bit more agile, and they could do it all within 3 weeks, provided they got all the right information. But that latter part isn't that relevant. We just cut it down to in 3 weeks, and it showed people an exact time frame, and it set their expectations really, really well. Next, without pain or objection. So with home owning parents, they have a lot going on, right? They have kids, they have other commitments, they have family duties, all that kind of thing. So it's a real hassle when they have to come down to remortgaging, because it's a load of paperwork, it's a load of lawyers, it's a load of thinking, right? So what we did, and what another competitive advantage of the mortgage broker was, it was an all done for you service. They didn't have to lift a finger, and they could concentrate on going to help the family, do family things, look after the kids, etc. And that worked really well for us. And then finally, it was the risk reversal, bonus value time. We didn't go for the risk reversal here. What we did instead was we offered bonus value. We offered something, and it was a real competitive advantage for the mortgage broker, because they had a sister company. It was a will company, right? They did and they wrote professionally written wills for their customers. And we realized it was worth acquiring a new customer by giving away a free will. And the free will is usually worth £300. So, when you're remortgaging, you've got kids, you're thinking about your family, right? You're thinking like, oh, wow, I really need to get a will here. Why I'm doing this remortgage, to make sure I safeguard my family's future. So we offered a free will with the lifetime mortgage offer for home owning parents, and it absolutely printed leads at the end of the day. 855 on a budget of £30 a day in under 90 days. It was an absolute transformation. Before that, we were running the generic shite, we were running the free consultation, the lifetime mortgage wasn't quite hitting. We weren't quite hitting a ideal customer profile either, so Meta couldn't optimize for it. We changed it, and from that, like I said, went to 855 leads. We pretty much tripled the lead flow thanks to this offer. And next steps now is we need to tie it to some event, right? So it's coming towards the end of summer, towards the end of summer as well, kids go back to school offers, end of summer offers, all that kind of stuff really resonates with people at the time of the year. So that's something else you can implement. If you can tie it to something at that time of year, maybe there's a festival in your local area, maybe there's an event, maybe it's the end of summer, it's winter sales or it's autumn sales, anything like that, tie it to it. People have it in their heads, and it'll help, get more leads, get more click-throughs on your ads, and it really, really creates a really solid offer. So to finish up this video and just have a little bit of a recap, then there is 5 elements to a irresistible offer. There's clarity, there's price versus value, there's urgency, the specific result, and then there's risk reversal versus bonus value. So you need to get these in order, and you need to really focus in on these and think, what can your business do? Also, number 2 was, your competitive advantage. You really need to figure out what your competitive advantage is compared to your competitors around you. What can your business do differently? Can you do things faster? Can you guarantee more level of service? What can you do that makes you different? You can really tie that into your offer. And then finally, it's using this specific framework, right? Go back, have another look, using the framework, plug in what your business can do, what it needs to do, and what it can really offer your customers in order for you to get more leads, acquire more customers, and ultimately make more sales. So nice one for watching, and I will see you in the next video.